Once upon a time. This message was reportedly given from the Virgin Mary for a nun in IRONDALE, Alabama. The message came through an Italian visionary. Does that sound interesting? Well, then stay tuned. So now 2024 has arrived. And the month of January always reminds me of a past January. January of 1998. When a most extraordinary thing happened in my neighborhood. And it happened on January 28th of 1998. The extraordinary thing that happened on the night of January 28th was a reported apparition of the Virgin Mary. And that took place right here in my neighborhood. And we first learned about this on the morning of January 29th. It was Sister Mary Claire who first informed us about what had happened.
She was on her knees and she raised her hands, and right at that point, she started, it's okay, it's going to take me a minute. She started receiving an apparition from Our Lady. And Our Lady gave a powerful message to Mother Angelica that's going to be interpreted later. She taped it.
The woman Sister Mary Claire was referring to was named Paolo Albertini. And she arrived here from Italy to visit and pray with Mother Angelica. She did not speak English, so she was traveling with her aunt from Italy, who could interpret between her and Mother Angelica. So, as things turned out, Paolo and her aunt and Sister Mary Claire and Sister Agnes and Mother Angelica were praying the rosary in Mother's office in the studio building when suddenly Paolo began having an apparition of the Virgin Mary. And she was the only one to see the apparition. But Sister Mary Claire, in her testimony, says a picture Mother had hanging on her wall in her office lit up with a bright light. In addition, 2 security guards were sitting in the kitchen area outside Mother Angelica's office and saw a bright light shine under the door. And this is Johnny, one of the 2 security guards that night. And he said they remarked to each other, "Did Mother Angelica get new lights installed in her office?" He entered the temple with them. 23 hours after what happened in Mother Angelica's office, she appeared on the live TV broadcast of Life on the Rock, announced that she had been healed, and told many details about what had occurred in her office that night.
Last night she said she was going to say the rosary at 8 o'clock, and I said she could say it in my office. And so after the show, I went over there, and so she asked me to say the first 3 decades. And I said to her, well, since she can't speak English, I said, would you like me to say it in Latin? She said yes, so I did. The fourth the fourth day, she started in Italian, and when she was about the third or fourth beat, she looked up, and I have a big picture of St. Francis and our Lord hanging, down, touching him, and she started talking to Our Lady. So I just sat there with my head down and prayed. When it was over, she just told me a few things our Lord and Our Lady said. One was that they were pleased with what we were doing for them. I felt the heat on my ankles. And I thought, wow. So I walked a little bit, I walked back and forth. And every time I walked back and forth, I noticed my legs, my ankles especially, instead of going this way, stopped. And they started coming in very gently, very slowly, coming in and straight. Well, I had two sisters with me, and I thought they were going to faint. They sat down. They thought they couldn't take it anymore.
And so the result of all this was that Mother was healed from being crippled.
Here they come, the relics.
And Sister Agnes with Mother's crutches and canes. So earlier that morning on January 29th, Mother came out to show us that she was no longer crippled.
World premiere. Mother has been healed.
Oh, praise Jesus. Oh, my heavens.
There's no braces. Nothing on her shoes.
All this was taking place about 12 hours after the reported apparition and Mother's healing. While all this was going on, I had the spontaneous thought of trying to get Mother Angelica to stand on one leg. That was something that would have been physically impossible before this.
Can you shake a foot for us?
Huh?
Can you shake your foot for us? That's it!
Thank the Lord. Well, I feel like I don't know. I don't know what to do.
It's new to you. It's new to you, right?
Well, I got off my bench today to go to communion, and I thought, well, wow, I didn't know what to do. I feel like I have phantom feelings. I feel like there's a bracelet, but it's not. But when I start to walk, I walk pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, the miracle has not taken away my appetite.
Not like that, it took away your wrinkles.
And as you could hear, Mother kept her sense of humor through all of this.
You deserve it after all this.
Yeah, 44 years. 44 years.
And as usual, Mother wasn't concerned with what the world at large will think about this situation. She's out there just telling us like it is. Today, that would be called transparency.
In the channel, okay.
This is footage from January 28th, 1998. Mother's walking into her TV studio with Father John Carapi. And though you can't see them from this footage, she still has her leg braces and her canes. Now, if you look closely underneath the table, you can see the leg brace attached to her leg and also attached to her shoe to help her keep steady when she's on her feet.
A priest from the Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity who preaches admissions.
So now it's just before 8 p.m. and the end of the show. Mother's posing for the after-show photo with Father Karabi. She still has her canes and her leg braces. There's Johnny, the security guard. So just after this, Mother slips away, goes into her office, and begins praying the rosary with a woman from Italy. And at this point, Mother has been crippled for 42 years. So when she walks into her office to pray the rosary, she is a crippled woman. When she walks out of her office, about 30 to 40 minutes later, she's no longer crippled. So the next morning, when she comes out in the parking lot,
Nothing on her shoes.
no leg braces on her shoes or her legs any longer. She's been healed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Can you shake a foot for us?
Huh?
Can you shake your foot for us? That's it!
You know what to do? I feel like I have phantom feelings. You know, I feel like there's a bracelet, but it's not. But when I start to walk, I walk pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah. Still the 29th of January. And Mother's going to do Life on the Rock tonight and talk about her healing. We've got quite a crowd here.
Mother Angelica was crippled in 1956 when she had surgery on her spine for a damaged vertebrae. And this is the first time she's ever walked into her TV studio without leg braces and canes. So keep in mind, Mother Angelica was crippled when she moved to Alabama in 1962, when she founded EWTN and began broadcasting in 1981. She was a crippled woman. And now, in 1998, she's no longer crippled.
It's been an enormous. Yeah.
Mother, is the pain gone?
Yeah. I can walk forward.
Our Lord has all kind of more works for you.
Praise God. Good. Francis? Yeah, it's good, huh? Oh, yeah, I don't. You know, when this woman came, I didn't want her to come. I said, God, I don't need another mystic around here.
Yes, you did.
But you...
I will pray.
So the physical healing is well documented. And if you want details about how she became crippled in 1956, I'd recommend Raymond Arroyo's book on her life, because Mother herself participated with Raymond in the writing of that book.
God has done something extraordinary in the last 24 hours here at EWTN. One of the nuns here in the monastery last night was wearing this. Today, she's not. We're going to talk about that next on Life on the Rock.
Documentation on the reported apparition of the Virgin Mary in Mother's office will never be proven one way or the other. That's something you have to believe in faith.
Very blessed woman, they wanted to come. And I kept telling them they didn't have room, and we were very busy, and my father's, Anyway, she came, and she said, "What can I do for you?" I said, "I don't need anything." And I said, "Can I help you?" She said, "No." She said, "Our lady told her to come," and she didn't know why she came, and I didn't know why she came. But last night she said she was going to say the rosary at 8 o'clock, and I said she could say it in my office. The fourth day, she started in Italian, and when she was about the third or fourth beat, she looked up, and I have a big picture of St. Francis and our Lord hanging, down, touching him, and she started talking to Our Lady. And she said, "Would you take your braces off?" And I thought, okay. I knew it was going to happen, because I'd taken them off before. And what I thought happened did. Both legs went this way, and one went this way. And so I stood up, and she put her hands out, and she said, "Come, don't be afraid." Well, my body went every which way, and so did my legs. So I walked to the door of my office, had a hard time turning around because both legs are going every which way, and so am I. And when I did turn around, I felt a heat on my ankles. And so that's what I wore all these years.
So this is what you have been wearing for how long now?
Well, one of them I wore for about 40 years. And the other one on the right leg about 4 or 5 years. And these two about 4 years. This evening she prayed for me again. I also wore a back bracelet. And so I stand before you without the back bracelet.
And the program where she announced her healing to the world and gave her testimony was made available on VHS tape shortly after the broadcast. And it was titled, Our Lady Heals Mother Angelica. In addition to the physical healing, Mother was also reportedly given a message from the Virgin Mary through the visionary Paolo Albertini, in which the Virgin says to Mother, she and Jesus are very pleased with the work that Mother is doing. And she also said for Mother Angelica that she blesses this location. So that was said in Mother Angelica's office in the studio building over there at EWTN. Incredible. So for myself, I feel very blessed to have had a first-hand experience regarding this situation. And I hope all of you find all of this of some value. Thanks.